All right, guys, this is for guys. I'm 42 years old. My testosterone's 950-ish. Natural. I take nothing. My blood work, my full blood panel is as good as it can possibly be across the board. And I'm saying this because I am someone that you should be listening to when it comes to testosterone and natural testosterone and stuff like that. I'm telling you. And a lot of young people, they watch, if you're watching this, then you see everything that's on the internet. And this is not a knock on anything. I just want people, especially young people, to not do something that they can't. Once there's a lot of young people, they just want to do testosterone because they want to get buff and they want to get bigger than what they can get naturally. Once you do that, you're screwed for life. You're done. And TRT, you should be looking at TRT. Everyone should be looking at TRT, testosterone replacement therapy, which there's nothing wrong with that. That's great. That's great that we live in a time that can be provided for people who need it. But you need to look at it like it's the dialysis of testosterone. So it's the same thing. It's people who absolutely need to be on it because their body doesn't produce it. And it's going the opposite direction. People are kind of like, and I'm not talking about steroids either, but steroids is very in right now too to talk about. And I remember, I'm 42. When I was teenager, I've been around steroids my whole life, and seen people on steroids my whole life since a teenager. And I've been a gym rat my whole life. So teens and 20s, people who were on steroids, it was like they don't talk about it. And they only talk about it with other people on steroids, and people don't. It's like an inner circle thing. Like you don't get to go and just talk about steroids or be around people who are on steroids talking about steroids, unless you know how to get steroids and you're doing them too. And then even then, man. So those people, they kept that stuff to themselves. Now it's all over the internet. You got young 20-year-olds who are on juice talking about what they do and giving advice and even making money off of it. It's crazy, man. And if people are going to listen, here's what I've told people. Because there's people, they're dead set on they want to do steroids, okay? Find someone who's been doing steroids for 2 decades to listen to. Don't listen to somebody your own age doing steroids. So someone who's like 20, don't listen to a 25-year-old. I'd say 2 decades. Find someone who's like my age, who's been doing steroids since they were 20. And you're going to hear, you might even hear a lot of, hey, don't do this. You should hear a lot of, hey, don't do this. Because anybody who's been doing steroids for that long, they're stuck on them. And everybody that I've ever known that does steroids for that amount of time, when they talk, if they even talk about it, they're saying don't do it, and they're doing it. And there's people that are freaks. They make freaks out of themselves, and they tell people, hey, don't do this. That's what they want to do. That's their choice, and I'm not knocking it. So it's getting that way with TRT or TRT dosing. People are taking TRT. They're getting it from underground sources or whatever. And testosterone, they're just taking testosterone, and they're taking like a TRT dose or a little bit more. Even people who have prescription TRT, a lot of those people, they take more because it's about aesthetics. They want to look a certain way. They want to take their bodies past and even a little bit of testosterone, even for someone who's, let's say they're low and they have it prescribed, if they take synthetic testosterone to get themselves into normal levels, they're going to achieve more muscle wise than somebody who doesn't have that level who has even a higher level of testosterone, but it's natural. So someone like me, my testosterone is almost 1,000, and someone, if their testosterone's like 250, let's say they take testosterone and get their levels up to 600, 700, they're gonna look a lot better than what I can look like at 950 than, you know, with the synthetic, because it's that powerful. Testosterone is amazing, but people are just taking it like it's just, you know, whatever, like it's no big deal, and the effects are lifelong. So look at it like it's a dialysis machine for testosterone, and do not waver, and do not let anything change your mind, and you'll thank yourself for that later down the road, especially if you're in your 20s, because a lot of these guys in their 20s, man, they just want to they want to take testosterone like it's like they can. I don't know what they're thinking, you know. They're gonna get themselves stuck on it, and they're gonna mess themselves up, all because they want to build more muscle than what they can build, and they're 20 something. They need to just they need to quit listening to what's on the internet, because that's all wrong too. That's all wrong. Everything that, don't listen to any, no offense, but bodybuilding is not. I'm doing anti-aging. I'm doing real anti-aging information, and I'm sharing what I do. Bodybuilding, I've been saying this for like a decade now. Bodybuilding is fine for if people want to do it. It's a free world, right? But bodybuilding is not anti-aging. Bodybuilding is actually the opposite of so if you want to anti-age and you want to age the opposite way as you get older, don't bodybuild, or don't listen to any bodybuilding advice on anything. Working out, eating, whatever, don't listen to it. It's not anti-aging. So all this stuff gets meshed in. It's all meshed in together, especially on the internet, the way things are, and how you know, things they move together. So a testosterone diet isn't good enough. My vegan diet book, that is a testosterone diet, but that's only one piece. That's only one element, and the puzzle's huge. The puzzle's perfect diet, perfect lifestyle, perfect mindset, and then that makes your training perfect. Now, I train for testosterone maximization. Not everyone has to, men or women. Not everyone has to. So the training is a byproduct of the perfecting the other three, and the training is what you want to do with it. But for me, it's about testosterone maximization for my training. The only reason why I can do what I do training-wise is because I'm seeking perfection on those other three, and I fail. Diet, I'm pretty good on the diet, but like I said before, lifestyle, mindset, you know, I'm imperfect. I do my best, but I will let some things get to me sometimes. So, you know, we're gonna fail. We're gonna fail. We're imperfect people. We're all gonna die too. So we're all gonna fail the ultimate, you know, at the end of it. But you want to add 20, 30 years longer of high quality living than what you would have had, you know, without that, then you listen to what I'm saying. Because what I'm saying adds 20, 30, 40, even 50 high quality years to your life before you lose and you die, because we're gonna die, right? So I wrote a song, and there's a lyric in a song a long time ago. I made a shirt about it once, because I make shirts with my lyrics and stuff like that, and song titles and stuff. And a lyric in there was, "If we're all gonna die, we might as well live." And I wrote that a long time ago. I wrote that like 20 years ago. And I used to have a shirt that said, "If we're all gonna die, we might as well live." So I might make another shirt like that, because I like that saying. If we're all gonna die, we might as well live. So testosterone diet, like I said, man, none of this is a knock on anybody or anything. But if you're watching this and you're listening to me, I'm telling you, people who are on TRT, whether they're lying about it or whether they're not, and we're talking TRT, real TRT, not taking a little bit more than what a TRT dose is, which is what anybody who's who has to show their body and has to use their body to sell themselves on the internet, more than likely, if they look better than what you think you can get, or what you think the person, a human being can get to, aesthetically, looks wise, first of all, you gotta, if it's pictures and lighting, and you gotta take out the photoshopping and the lighting and the pictures and you know what I mean. If they're only showing their body every now and then, they do diuretics, and that's not healthy either. But they have to be like that. They have to do that stuff. They're more than likely on some stuff too. Men and women. Women are on stuff too. Women are on male hormone in the fitness industry, the internet fitness industry, which I'm not part of. I am part of the. I am my own self. I'm a lone wolf. I'm anti-aging, and I'm sharing what I'm doing. So that's all. That's what I'm part of. I'm doing my own thing. So I'm not trying to be part of the fitness industry. I'm not trying to knock anyone. I'm trying to help people though who want to go down the anti-aging path, and they need to know these things. That way they don't get caught up into it. They need to be able to see what's what. And let other people follow all that, because you can't change it. So I'm not here to try to change any of that. That would go against my purpose in life, which is to anti-age. That would make me age, because I'd go nuts trying to change it. It's impossible. So anybody on TRT or any kind of testosterone at all, they could be great people, and I'm sure most of them are. But when it comes to a testosterone diet, they are out of the conversation. They cannot talk about a natural. They can talk about a TRT testosterone diet, but they don't do that. They talk about a man's diet, a natural testosterone. The only people who can talk about that are people who are not on anything. And then show it. Show the blood work. Show the proof of it. You know what I mean? Don't just follow what's being said and then not show any proof of it. So what's out there as far as a testosterone diet, I'm telling you right now, it is almost the opposite. There's some things that are in there that are just common sense, but as far as like the meat content, the fat content, it's almost the opposite of what a lot of stuff that's out there. And take the people who are on TRT saying that, and they have to be taken out of the conversation. You could put a TRT asterisk on it and say this is a TRT man's diet, okay. But a natural man's diet for testosterone maximization, number one, it's not just the diet, lifestyle, the mindset, and then the training for testosterone maximization has to be training for that. But it can't be at its highest level without the other ones that are at a high level, right? It's about hormone balance. Now, everything that's out there adds more protein and more fat and more cholesterol than your body needs for hormone balance. Period. Like, that was the easy way of saying it. And then there's micronutrient deficiencies in all those types of eating styles. So once you learn about what your body needs micronutrient wise, you can see that clearly. Like, you'll be able to see like fasting, different types of fasting styles of eating. When you look at what people are eating, like, man, they're deficient in like all kinds of stuff if they eat like that, which people don't. But that's why people need to be eating processed foods who are just average, because processed foods will give them micronutrients that they won't know how to get in real food. The average person who wants to be average or below average needs to be eating processed foods, because that's how they're going to get their vitamins and minerals that they don't know that they're supposed to be getting. Okay? The processed food companies know how stupid people are, and they know, man, people don't know how to eat at all. We fortify these foods with nutrients that they won't know how to get if they tried to eat off of real nature's food. And when you see some of these other diets that are like so potassium deficient, they don't even get, like, some of the man diets, the potassium deficiency is it's like 2,000 milligrams of potassium that I can count that they're going to be getting, which is way short of like 5,500, I believe, is like the daily value. And I eat way more potassium than 5,500. And anybody who's active needs way more potassium than 5,500. That's like for a sedated person. Same thing with sodium, stuff like that. There's all kinds of other stuff too. But some micronutrients are standard, and they're pretty much standard to what everyone needs, you know what I mean? But stuff like electrolytes and stuff, that's all based on your activity level, and you can get rid of all that throughout your day. Everyone's different. But also, I focus on vitamin D from the sun. I focus on sun vitamin D. That's directly correlated to your testosterone levels too. You have to be healthy enough to be able to absorb the sun properly, and it can't be on hitting my shirt and hitting my it has to be, you have to be ideally naked, and everybody should be getting their D levels checked too. Get full blood panel checked, but your D levels are important. Look at your D levels. You will watch your health rise as your D levels rise closer to 100. Mine are 100. You want your vitamin D levels to be 100. If they're 50, that's not good enough. If they're 40, under 50 is really not good. Over 50, 60, 70, you start getting over 70s, 80s, and closer to 100. Now you're going to see everything get better. On your whole life's going to get better. And as a man, your testosterone will go up. That all has to happen together with everything. Everything has to be working well as a well-oiled machine. You can't just go out and sit in the sun, and you don't want to sit in the sun too much. You really don't want to think of it like tanning. Some people, they think of it like tanning, and it's not tanning. I prefer to think of it like you're getting your vitamin D. That's the way I call the sun my vitamin D. That's what I do. So if you ever hear me say that, that's what I'm talking about. The sun. I'm getting my vitamin D. And you don't need to be in the sun for hours and hours and hours. That actually, there's a point where it actually becomes harmful. But you have to be healthy enough to absorb it. So if you're not, then and people don't get that, and people don't talk about that. They just let's take a supplement. Okay, if you that's the next best thing though. It's not as good as the sun, and it's not as good as everything combined and working everything together. That's how I'm 42 years old and my testosterone's around 1,000, because I try to perfect everything, and all my blood work's good on everything. If I have 1,000 testosterone, my D levels are 100. Imagine how I feel. I want you to feel the same way. Ask a doctor. I don't want you to listen to me and think I know what I'm talking about. I want you to ask doctors, is 950 testosterone for a 42-year-old man at 100 vitamin D? I mean, just that right there, just that alone, just those two, and the doctor would be like, man, that's good. They'd be like, that's like insane, right? That's freak status right there. There's people who think that there's people who've seen my testosterone levels, 20-year-olds, and when I showed them one time, like I show them, but this was somewhere else, and they said, no, you're on. They had something that they thought I did. Like I took something and then I took something else and then I did my blood test, like one of those, like things that athletes do. No, I'm not. That's my testosterone level. It's because I obsess about age reversal. This is my life. This is what I dedicate my life to, my age reversal. And people can do testosterone and make themselves, look good, but eventually it catches up to them. And they're not going to make it to 42 and be like me. Some of these guys, they're like in their late 20s, and they're looking good, and they're all ripped and buff, and they're not going to make it to 42 and have anywhere near the blood work that I have. And they don't have the blood work that I have right now when they're in their 20s. Their blood work is all screwed up. They'd have to do whatever these people say that you do that fixes things, that way you can pass a test or something. They have to do that stuff to pass tests or to make their test look good. They do a blood test they're going to do some type of whatever that is. So anyways, hopefully I'm making sense here. The point is, I got people over here staring at me thinking I'm crazy talking to my phone. When I parked over here, there's no one over here now. There's people parking over here looking at me like, what is this guy? He's one of them talking to his phone. Anyways, someone's pulling up here. So have a good day.